Thanks for being with us. I really appreciate that. I thought that was a great, that was an amazing question. Thank you. Yes, I always forget to say those things. I already tested. How are you? Good to see you. Sunday.
Really appreciate that you all have taken the afternoon to come. And I want to thank our lovely hostess, Roswitha. Yay! It's so gracious to open her home to our organization. And we thank you very much, Roswitha, for that. You're welcome. And I'd like to introduce myself, number one, before I introduce the real star, is Marissa Catnage, and I'm on the Board of Trustees for the Cheetah Conservation Fund. And we have Casey, who is Dr. Marker's assistant, who's traveled from Namibia, Africa, to be here with her today.
Purring. Can you hear a purr? Can you hear him purr?
Dr. Lori Marker, the Cheetah.
Do you think she'll come over here? Don't move it. Not really, not on the
Kim, Ashley, and Kathy have driven all the way from the San Diego Safari Park to bring Jahari and her dog with us today. You can hear her for all.
Yes, definitely.
I introduced her.
I love it.
I'm not at all partial. Neither are you. Right. So we're in a very good group of people who like cheetahs a lot. Many of my dear friends here also care a lot about cheetahs. But they are running their most important race, and that's for their very survival. There's only 10,000 cheetahs left in the world. That's not very many. In captivity, we only have about 1,600 cheetahs living in captivity. And they are an animal that does not necessarily breed all that well in captivity. However, she was born at the... She was born in Florida. Yeah, okay, at the White Oak.
Yes.
And I bet she comes from Namibian blood.
Because of training, we can train a cheetah without a dog, but it makes the steps in a very, in a situation where there's lots of people go by a lot faster, and then we get to have that connection with the cheetah with those people. So what we do is we pair these guys at a very young age, and then that relationship, I know you want to be down there, that relationship grows together. They're not siblings, but the dog is dominant. The dog is the one that's the boss, but the confidence builder. So the cheetah goes, oh, my dog's nice and relaxed in this environment. Oh, this is easy. So the cheetah's actually going to trust the dog's body language probably a lot quicker than she's going to trust the humans. Wow. And that's just the animal-animal relationship.
But as they grow up as babies together, they play.
Yeah.
And they play and they interact, but when we're here, we don't want the cheetah to be playing with us in a rowdy way. Wild, their lifespan is only about 8 to 10 years of age. In captivity, we've now grown that population in captivity through a lot of the research that we've done I've been studying cheetahs now about 40 years, just like yesterday. Like a sight or a scope on a gun is to a hunter. So as the cheetah's getting ready to hunt, it picks out its prey, and you'd be perfect prey back there because you're out of the group. So prey. And the cheetah, as it's running up to 70 miles an hour, keeps its prey right between its eyes. So I always say to kids, imagine what it's like going 70 miles an hour and running. Or just look at driving your car that speed. You're not like looking out the side of the window and you kind of get sick. And the cheetah going that speed actually keeps its eyes right on its target. So those cheer marks help target. They're called mallard stripes. They're also useful like baseball or football players put, mainly football players, put black under their eyes, soccer players, to refract the sun's glare like sunglasses. No, they're there, they want to
Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh my God.
Now that was the Sphinx leg, slopey, that they can jump into. So when you see a cheetah in a tree, and they do go into trees, they mark these trees. They're called play trees or spielboom or marking trees. And they go into a tree, it's got to be sloped a little bit more, where they can urinate and defecate in those trees. And they are a scent marking area, a scent post. But they look a bit like a dog in a tree. They're off balance, their tail acts like a rudder for balance. And so that helps them so they don't roll over and spin out when they're going. So we have laws here in the country that do not allow us to actually touch. Although the Fish and Wildlife Department know me.
Yes.
And they know that I am close. But they also know that I have a very big respect for their laws. And well, I got involved with cheetahs because I moved from California to Oregon, and I was supposed to be a winemaker, actually. I had, but I grew up on the back of a horse, if that makes any sense.
Yes, it does make sense.
Okay, you also did, right? My childhood friend.
Because you taught me how to ride.
But when I moved to Oregon, a wildlife park had just opened. And it was called the Wildlife Safari. It's still there. It's a wonderful place. And as it just had opened, they had cheetahs. And there were only a handful of cheetahs in the this is the early 1970s. And our cheetahs from San Diego and Oregon had come over in this last batch of wild cheetahs. And I'd never seen a cheetah before in my life. But as I got there, the Wildlife Safari was just a few miles away from the winery that I had just opened. And I said I grew up with animals, I was a vet tech, and I needed a job to support my business. And I took over their veterinary clinic and ran the veterinary clinic. And the veterinary clinic, we had only the special animals to take care of. And the cheetahs were an off-exhibit area, and they came under my care.
Oh, how lucky that was.
So